The stars outside the ship looked like a river of light. Captain Ryan stood alone on the viewing deck, watching the endless space. It was quiet, too quiet. His hands were in his pockets. His heart was heavy. Behind him, soft footsteps echoed. He didn't need to turn. He already knew who it was. Commander Lyra. She was an alien Villair, with silver-blue skin that shimmered under the ship lights. Her eyes were sharp, glowing faintly, but there was always something soft behind them whenever she looked at Ryan. "Long night?" she asked, standing beside him. Ryan smiled a little. "The stars are busy tonight." Lyra gave a short laugh. "Stars never sleep." For a moment, neither spoke. Just silence, and the quiet hum of the ship moving through deep space. Ryan had waited too long. Every day, he told himself he'd forget. But every time he saw her, he remembered. He took a breath. "Lyra," he said softly. She turned to him. "Yes, Captain, I've loved you for years," he said. The words left his mouth, and silence returned. Only now, it was heavy, thick with tension. Lyra froze. Her glowing eyes widened. Her hand moved slowly to the side of her armor, where a small crystal pulse flickered. The color inside it changed from blue to red. She stepped back, her voice quiet, but sharp. "You shouldn't have said that." Ryan looked confused. "Why?" She looked away, her face full of fear. "Because if I feel the same, it can destroy everything." Before Ryan could speak, the ship's AI interrupted. "Warning. Unknown signal detected. Possible enemy vessel approaching." Red lights blinked across the deck. Emergency sounds echoed across the halls, but Ryan's focus was still on Lyra. "What do you mean, destroy everything?" he asked. Lyra's hands were shaking. "Vellari are trained from birth to never connect emotionally. Our feelings are tied to our powers. If we lose control, we become unstable." Ryan stepped forward. "I don't care. We've fought wars together. We've saved each other. Isn't that real?" Lyra looked at him, pain in her eyes. "It is. That's the problem." The ship's AI spoke again. Signal confirmed. "Velarek class hunter ship, ETA, 30 minutes. Ryan's heart dropped. "They're here for you." She nodded. "If they find out, I feel anything for you. They'll destroy us both." He couldn't believe it, just because of love. To them, love is danger, Lyra whispered. "It changes us, makes us weak, or too strong. Either way, they fear it." The viewing deck lights dimmed. A hologram of the approaching ship appeared. It was massive, sharp like a spear, moving fast. Lyra turned to leave. "I need to hide." Ryan stopped her. "No, we face this together." Her eyes met his. For the first time, she looked truly scared. "You don't understand," she said. "They're not just soldiers, they're executioners." Ryan stepped close. "Let them come." Lyra looked at him, searching his face. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I've loved you since the day I pulled you out of that fire. I didn't know what to call it then. I do now, and I won't run." Lyra's lips parted, but no words came out. She stared at him, and for a second, her eyes glowed a softer color purple. It was a color he had never seen before. Then she said, almost in a whisper, "If they see that color in my eyes, they'll know I feel the same." Ryan reached out and gently took her hand. "I don't care." Suddenly, the ship's AI interrupted. Again, final warning. Enemy ship is locking weapons. Shields up in 60 seconds. Lyra pulled her hand away and turned to the control panel. "We don't have time," she said. "They won't talk. They'll attack." Ryan moved beside her. "Then we make them talk." She looked at him with sad eyes. "No, we make them chase." The ship floated quietly through the stars, its engines running low to avoid detection. Inside, tension filled the air like thick smoke. Captain Ryan sat alone in the command room, staring at the screen that showed the hunter ship following them. They had managed to escape for now, but it wouldn't last. Lyra entered the room, silent as always. Her silver blue armor was cracked on the shoulder, and her glowing eyes were dim. She looked tired, not just in body, but in soul. "You should rest," Ryan said, without looking at her. "So should you," she replied, sitting across from him. There was a long silence between them. Finally, Ryan asked, "Who are they?" Lyra didn't answer right away. Then she said, "They are called the Watchers, but humans call them hunter ships. They serve the Valari High Council. Their only job is to find and erase those who break our rules." Ryan looked at her. "You mean, those who fall in love?" She nodded slowly. "Yes." "That's insane," he said, almost angry. "Love isn't a crime. In your world, maybe not," she whispered. "But in ours, it's chaos." Ryan leaned forward. "Tell me why." Lyra took a deep breath and placed her hand on the glowing crystal on her chest. The color flickered between blue and purple. "In Valari culture, emotions are energy," she explained. "When we feel something strong, love, rage, fear, it affects our powers. Love is the most powerful of all. It can make us stronger than anyone, but it also makes us unstable." Ryan frowned. "So they fear what they can't control." "Yes," she said. "Long ago, a Valari leader fell in love with a human. Her powers grew beyond control. Planets were destroyed. Since then, love with outsiders became forbidden." Ryan looked away. "And now it's happening again. With us." Lyra nodded, eyes full of pain. "That's why I tried to hide my feelings. I fought them, but your words, they broke the wall I built." Ryan stood up and paced the room. "So what now? We keep running forever. They won't stop until I'm taken. Or dead," Lyra said, standing too. "I won't let them take you," Ryan said firmly. Lyra smiled, but it was a sad smile. "You're only human, Ryan. Brave, yes, but not immortal." Ryan turned toward her. "You don't get it. I've lost people in war, friends, family, brothers. I can't lose you too. Not without a fight." Her eyes glowed purple again for a moment. "If they see that color in my eyes, it proves I love you. Then they'll kill you too." Ryan stepped closer. "Then hide it. Lie, if you have to, but don't leave me." Before Lyra could answer, the AI voice echoed through the room. "Enemy ship approaching. Estimated time, 18 minutes. Shields up." Lyra looked at Ryan. "They're closing in. We need a plan," he said. "I know a place," she said. "A hidden moon near Sector 4. It's covered in storm clouds. They won't be able to scan us." Ryan nodded. "Then we go there." They rushed to the control panels and changed the ship's direction. The engines fired stronger, pushing through space toward the storm moon. As the ship moved, Ryan turned to her again. "Lyra, what would happen if you fully accepted your feelings?" She paused. "I don't know. Some Valari say we unlock new powers. Others say we burn from the inside out." "And you're still willing to love me?" he asked. "I already do," she whispered. A moment passed. Ryan reached out and touched her hand. She didn't pull away. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A strange energy pulse moved through the ship. The AI glitched for a second, then returned. "Warning. Unknown energy detected inside vessel." Ryan looked around. What was that? Lyra looked at her hands. Her skin shimmered brighter, and the purple glow in her eyes didn't fade. "I think it's me," she said. Her emotions were triggering a new kind of energy, something even she didn't understand. "We have to be careful," she said. Ryan nodded. "We'll figure it out, together." They reached the hidden moon just in time. The ship entered the storm, hiding them in thick clouds and electric noise. The hunter ship passed by, unable to trace them. For now, they were safe. But Ryan knew the danger wasn't over. Lyra's feelings were growing stronger. So was the energy inside her, and sooner or later, the Valari would return. Still, he looked at her with hope in his heart. If love makes us dangerous, he said, then let them be afraid. Dark storm clouds covered the hidden moon. Lightning flashed across the sky as the ship quietly landed between sharp mountains and glowing rocks. Inside, Ryan and Lyra sat in silence, both watching the radar closely. The hunter ship had passed by without noticing them. For now, they were safe. But Ryan knew it was only a matter of time before they were found again. Lyra sat by a glowing panel, her hands folded in her lap. Her eyes flickered with purple light that refused to go away. She looked stronger, but also different. Are you feeling okay? Ryan asked, stepping toward her. Lyra nodded slowly. The energy inside me is growing. I can feel it moving through my veins. It's because of my emotions. Because of you. Ryan sat beside her. I'm sorry I caused this. She looked at him, surprised. No, don't be. You gave me something real, something I never thought I could feel. They sat in silence for a while. Then the radar beeped. Again, a small red dot appeared near the edge of the moon. Ryan narrowed his eyes. That's a scout drone. They're searching the surface. Lyra stood quickly. They're close. If they detect my energy, they'll send the hunters again. Ryan clenched his fists. Let them come. We'll fight. Lyra shook her head. You don't understand, Ryan. They're not normal soldiers. They are designed to hunt Valari, even ones like me. They were trained to kill emotions before they even learned to speak. Ryan stepped closer. And they'll kill me, too. Yes, she said softly. To them, you're the reason I'm broken. They believe love is a virus, and you are the infection. Ryan's jaw tightened. We need to leave this moon, Lyra nodded. But where can we go? There's no place in the galaxy where the Valari High Council cannot reach. Suddenly, the ship lights flickered. The AI spoke in a cold voice. Enemy drone approaching. Energy match. Valari, class. Cloaking no longer effective. The radar showed a second dot appear, then a third. They've found us, Ryan said. They're coming. Lyra touched her armor. The crystal on her chest glowed a bright purple, now controlled and wild. Ryan moved to the weapon control panel. We can still fight. I have missiles, plasma turrets. No, Lyra said, stepping forward. You can't fight them with weapons. You'll die. Then what do we do? Lyra took a deep breath. I surrender. Ryan froze. What? If I surrender, they won't hurt you, she said. They'll take me, erase my memories, and turn me into something else. But you'll live. Ryan's voice broke. You can't do that. I won't let them take you. Lyra placed her hand gently on his cheek. I'd rather lose myself than see you die. Before Ryan could reply, the ship shook violently. A red beam from above had hit the outer wall. The power flickered, and the lights turned blood red. Enemy. Ship has locked on. Boarding in 2 minutes, the AI warned. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand tightly. We run. Together. Lyra's heart raced. The energy inside her was almost too strong now. She could feel the ship around her responding to her emotions, lights flickering, walls humming. Suddenly, the door burst open. 2 tall figures stepped inside. Valari hunters covered in black armor, their faces hidden behind glowing silver masks. Their weapons pointed at Ryan. Step away from the traitor. One of them ordered in a robotic voice. Ryan stood in front of Lyra. You'll have to go through me. The hunters raised their weapons. Then something incredible happened. Lyra's body began to glow bright purple and white energy exploded from her. Her hair floated, her eyes burned with light, and her voice echoed with power. Don't touch him. The hunters paused, sensing the energy shift. One of them tried to fire, but the weapon melted in his hand. Lyra raised her hand. The air around them turned heavy. The hunters were lifted off the ground, without her even touching them. They struggled, trying to break free. She's out of control, one of them shouted. Ryan watched in awe as Lyra stepped forward. Her feet, not even touching the ground. She was no longer hiding her feelings. She had accepted the end now. She was more powerful than ever, but it came at a cost. Her skin cracked with light, and her breathing became heavy. The energy was burning her from the inside. Ryan ran to her. "Lyra, stop. You'll kill yourself." She looked at him with glowing eyes. "Then tell me, should I let them take you?" "No," he whispered, "but we'll find another way." Lyra nodded. She dropped the hunters to the ground, unconscious. The glow around her faded slowly. She collapsed into Ryan's arms. "We have to leave now," Ryan said. He carried her back to the cockpit and fired up the ship as they flew into space. Lyra rested against him, weak but alive. "You saved me," Ryan whispered. "No," Lyra said with a faint smile. "You saved me from a life without love." The ship flew quietly through deep space, hiding in the shadows of dead planets and drifting rocks. Inside, Captain Ryan checked the controls, while Lyra rested on a bed behind him. Her body was weak, still glowing softly from the energy she had used. She had saved both their lives, but at a heavy cost. Ryan turned and looked at her. She was breathing slowly, her skin pale, the crystal on her chest flickering weakly. He walked over and sat beside her. "How are you feeling?" Lyra opened her eyes slightly. "Like a sun exploded inside me." He smiled sadly. "You almost burned yourself to save me." "I would do it again," she whispered. Ryan held her hand gently. "Then let's make sure you never have to." The ship's radar blinked. A red dot appeared again, another Valari scout. They were still being hunted. Ryan stood and opened a secret panel near the back of the ship. Inside was a small escape pod, hidden for emergencies. It was just big enough for two. He had a plan, but he knew Lyra wouldn't like it. She sat up. Slowly. "You're thinking something dangerous." Ryan turned. "I want to use this pod to sneak us onto a human station near Orion Belt. If we reach it, they can protect you. The Valari can't start a war on human territory." Lyra shook her head. "It's too risky. The hunters will see us before we even land." "Not if I distract them," Ryan said. She stood, weak but determined. "You mean you'll stay behind?" Ryan avoided her eyes. "They won't chase the pod if they think I'm still in the ship." "No," she said firmly. "I'm not leaving you." Ryan stepped closer. "Lyra, your energy is unstable. You're not healing fast. If they find us again, you won't survive a second attack." Her eyes filled with pain. "And what about you?" "I'm human. I've fought wars. I know how to hide, fight, survive." Lyra grabbed his hand tightly. "I don't want to survive without you." He looked into her glowing eyes. "We'll meet again, I promise." She lowered her head. "There's something else you should know." Ryan frowned. "What is it?" She pointed to the crystal on her chest. "It's changing. This color, purple and gold. It's the final stage of emotional energy. If it grows more, I might lose full control. And if that happens, I could hurt everyone." Ryan's heart sank. "Can we stop it?" She shook her head. "Only one way. I have to be far away from the person who caused it." "You." The room fell silent. They both knew what that meant. Their love was powerful but dangerous. Suddenly, the ship shook. A beam from above had scanned their location. "Warning," the AI said. "Hunter's ship has locked on to states, 15,000 kilometers. Weapons ready." "No time," Ryan said. "Get in the pod." "I'm not leaving," Lyra said again, voice shaking. Ryan took a deep breath. Then he pulled something from his pocket, a small memory cube. He placed it in her hand. "If I don't make it, this will help you remember everything." Lyra's eyes teared up. "Don't talk like that." "You said you loved me," Ryan whispered. She nodded. "Then trust me." Suddenly, the wall exploded. A blast shook the ship, as metal bent and wires sparked. "They're boarding again," Ryan shouted. He pushed Lyra toward the pod. Go. I'll handle them. She hesitated, then turned and climbed inside. The pod sealed shut. Ryan hit the launch button. The pod fired out through a hidden hatch. Disappearing into the asteroid field, Ryan turned, breathing heavily. 2 hunters entered, through the broken wall. Where is the traitor? One asked. Ryan raised his weapon. You'll never find her. The hunters stepped forward, but Ryan opened a control panel on his wrist. I've set this ship to self-destruct, he said. If you take one more step, we all die. The hunters paused back in space. Lyra's pod floated quietly, hidden in debris. She could hear Ryan's voice from the last message he left in the memory cube. If we survive this, if you're listening, I want you to know I never regretted anything. You made me feel alive. Tears fell from her eyes. Then the pod's radar blinked. A rescue signal from a nearby human ship. She smiled through her tears. You kept your promise. Back on the broken ship, Ryan faced the hunters with a calm heart. For love, for her, he was ready to fight until the end. The stars outside the escape pod were calm, but inside Lyra's heart, a storm raged. She sat in silence, staring at the memory cube Ryan had given her. His final words played in her mind again and again. If we survive this, if you're listening, I want you to know I never regretted anything. You made me feel alive. She closed her eyes, holding the cube tightly. Suddenly, the pod beeped. The rescue signal was getting stronger. A human station was nearby. Station Haven 7, a large spaceport hidden behind the icy rings of a gas giant. Safe, but only for her. Lyra looked down at the crystal on her chest. It now glowed gold and purple, brighter than ever. She could feel the power building, but it was unstable. Her feelings for Ryan were making the energy inside her grow faster and more dangerous. She whispered to herself, he's still out there. I can feel it. Meanwhile, on the damaged ship, Captain Ryan faced 2 Valari hunters. The ship's alarms screamed, red lights flashing across the halls. Sparks flew from broken wires above. He had set the self-destruct countdown. 10 minutes. Where is the traitor? One of the hunters growled, stepping closer. Ryan pointed his weapon at the control panel. One more step, and this ship turns into space dust. The hunters paused, but Ryan could see they weren't afraid of death. I won't ask again, the taller one said. Where is Commander Lyra? She's gone, Ryan said. Far away from monsters like you. Suddenly, both hunters moved at once. Ryan fired, hitting one in the chest. It fell back, armor sparking. The other tackled Ryan to the ground. They fought, crashing into the control panels. Ryan punched hard, kicked harder, but the hunter was stronger. It lifted him by the neck and slammed him into the wall. You made her weak, it said. Ryan gasped, blood on his lip. No, I made her stronger. He reached for a backup detonator on his belt. The hunter saw it too late. Ryan pressed the button, high above. Lyra's escape pod docked with Haven 7. Medical bots pulled her from the pod, checking her vitals. She pushed them away. I need a ship, she said urgently. Now, the station commander, a tall woman in a white coat, stepped forward. You need rest. You're barely alive. Lyra's voice cracked. He's out there, fighting to protect me. I have to go back. The commander hesitated. Go back where? To the dying star system. I know where he is, but it's dangerous. I don't care. Suddenly, the lights on Lyra's armor flashed wildly. Her energy pulse had reached a peak. You can't control that power, the commander warned. I don't want to control it, Lyra said. I want to use it. Minutes later, Lyra's borrowed ship jumped into hyperspace. She flew through collapsing asteroid fields, ignoring the warning systems. Her mind was focused on only one thing. Ryan. When she reached the last known location of his ship, all she saw was debris floating in space. Pieces of metal, broken panels, a trail of smoke. Her heart stopped. She scanned the wreckage. No life signs. Ryan, she whispered. Then, a weak signal appeared. Distress beacon, life form detected, cryochamber activated. Lyra gasped and followed the signal. Behind a large rock, hidden in the shadow of the wreck, she found an emergency pod damaged, but still working. She opened it. Inside, Ryan lay still, covered in burns and blood. But he was breathing. Ryan, she cried, pulling him out. His eyes opened slowly. Took you long enough. She laughed through her tears. You idiot. You nearly died. You said you'd come back, he whispered, and you did. Lyra held him close, her glowing skin lighting up the dark pod. I felt you, she said, even from light years away. Suddenly, her energy began to rise again. The crystal on her chest glowed blinding gold. Ryan looked at it and smiled weakly. You're beautiful and terrifying. I can't stop it anymore, Lyra said. It's too strong. Then use it, Ryan said. Don't fear it, control it. For us. Lyra closed her eyes. She focused on her feelings, not fear, not pain, but love. The energy inside her shifted. It calmed. It stabilized. The light around her changed from wild and flashing to soft and warm. She had done it. For the first time in Valari history, someone had controlled the final stage of emotional power, not by fighting it, but by embracing love. Back at the human station, reports came in. A single ship had flown through the hunter fleet. The hunters didn't attack. They backed away. Why? Because they saw something they had never seen before. Valari woman glowing with golden light, flying beside a human man. Not weak, not broken. The stars above burned cold and silent. Deep inside the hidden rebel base, Kalen stood near the old landing pad, staring into the sky. He hadn't spoken much in days. The last mission had changed him. His heart was heavy. His body still ached from the wounds. But what haunted him most were the memories of Zara, the alien woman he had once saved, the woman he had fallen for. Everyone believed he had died weeks ago. His ship had been shot down, and the Valari Empire had claimed his body was never found. But now, he was back scarred, quiet, and different. The humans, who once cheered his name, now watched him with fear and wonder. To them, he was no longer just a soldier. He had become something else. Something more. Zara was there too, hidden among the rebels. When she saw him walk through the gate, her breath caught in her throat. He looked older. His eyes had a deep pain in them, and yet, when their eyes met, something still sparked. He's alive, she whispered to herself. Her heart pounded. She wanted to run to him, but something held her back. Later that night, Kalen was called to the command tent. The rebellion had one last mission, a suicide strike on the Valari capital. Their people were tired, resources low. If they didn't strike now, they'd be crushed forever. We can't win without a symbol, the commander said. We need a hero to lead them. Everyone turned to Kalen. He didn't speak. He just looked down, thinking about all the lives he had seen lost. He didn't want to be a hero. He just wanted peace. But then he looked at Zara, sitting quietly in the corner, trying to stay unnoticed. She looked afraid. But more than that, she looked determined. Kalen slowly stood. I'll go, he said. But not alone. Zara's eyes widened. Was he really asking her to join the mission? She stood, unsure of what to say. Her people hunted her. The humans didn't trust her. But here was Kalen asking for her strength, her help, and maybe her heart. I'll go with you, she said. For peace. The plan was risky. They would sneak into the capital using old tunnels beneath the Valari city. These were maps only Zara knew. She had once lived there. She had once been part of the very army they were fighting now. That knowledge could save them, or destroy them. The journey started the next night. Kalen, Zara, and a small team of rebels left the base under darkness. The desert was cold and quiet. Danger was everywhere. Valari patrols flew above. Drones scanned the ground. One mistake, and it would all be over. During the long walk, and Zara finally had time to talk. He asked her about her past, why she had left the Empire, what she had lost. She told him everything. Her betrayal, her exile, her guilt, and then she asked him why he still trusted her. Kalen looked at her and smiled faintly. Because love isn't about being perfect, he said. It's about choosing each other, even when it's hard. Zara blinked, surprised. His words touched something deep inside her. That night, they camped in a ruined building. As they sat by the fire, Kalen gently took Zara's hand. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. In that moment, they both understood. This mission wasn't just about war or rebellion. It was also about them, what they had become together. But peace wouldn't come easy. As they neared the capital, one of the rebels tripped a sensor. Sirens blared in the distance. Valari troops would be coming fast. Kalen looked at Zara. We have to split up, he said. You lead the team. I'll draw them away. Zara shook her head. No, we stay together. But Kalen smiled sadly. You're the only one who knows the way inside. You have to finish this. Zara grabbed his arm. Don't do this. I already did, he said, pulling away. And then he ran into the night. Flares firing into the sky, drawing the enemy toward him. Zara stood frozen, tears filling her eyes. Around her, the other rebels urged her forward. We have to go. He's buying us time. With one final look back, Zara turned and led the team into the tunnels. The mission had to go on. Behind them, the sky lit up with explosions. The fallen hero had returned not just to fight, but to protect what mattered most, and the war was far from over. The battlefield was quiet now. Ashen skies covered what was once a place of pain, fire, and loss. Broken machines and burned flags rested in silence. In the middle stood the human, David, and the alien woman, Alira, side by side, hand in hand. Around them, soldiers from both sides looked at each other, tired of fighting. A new law had been passed. No more war. No more fear. The High Council of Valari and the Earth Alliance had agreed. Peace would begin today. But peace did not come easily. It was built on the blood of those who fell, on the pain of those who sacrificed everything, and on the love between two unlikely hearts. David looked at Alira. Her silver eyes, once filled with sadness, now carried a spark of hope. She smiled at him, a small, quiet smile. She had once been hunted by her own people. Now, she was their voice for change. Alira stepped forward. She spoke in the middle of the field, her voice calm but strong. I was once afraid to love, afraid to choose peace. But this human, she paused, looking at David, showed me another way. Some Valari guards shifted uncomfortably, but none moved to stop her. She continued, I betrayed no one. I only followed the truth in my heart. And today, I ask you to do the same. There was silence, then a slow sound. One Valari captain dropped her weapon. Another Earth soldier followed. One by one, both sides began to lower their arms. It was over. Truly over. The new law was simple. Valari and humans could now live together, trade, speak, and even love. It was not just a peace treaty. It was a fresh start for both civilizations. Enemies were now neighbors. Wounds would heal, but scars would remain. They were reminders of what must never happen again. Back at the capital, a ceremony was held. David wore a new uniform, one with no weapons, only symbols of peace. Alira wore a robe of white and silver, the new colors of unity. People cheered as they walked to the great steps of the Unity Tower, hand in hand. Cameras recorded everything. History was being written in real time. Inside the hall, the leaders of both species signed the final documents. With each stroke of the pen, old hatred faded a little more. Later that evening, under the soft light of twin moons, David and Alira stood on the balcony of their new home. For the first time in months, there was no fear, no danger, only silence and peace. David broke the silence. "Did you ever think we would make it?" he asked. Alira leaned on his shoulder. "No," she said softly, "but I hoped." David laughed gently. "You were always stronger than me." "No," she said, "we were strong together." Down below, children from both races played in the streets. Some spoke Earth languages, some spoke Velari, and some used a mix of both. It didn't matter. They understood each other. That was enough. News spread across galaxies. A human and a Velari woman, once divided by duty and war, had changed. Everything other planets took notice. Some feared it, some respected it, and some were inspired by it. In the months that followed, more laws were passed. Schools were built that welcomed both species. Mixed crews were allowed on marriage between humans and aliens was no longer illegal. There was resistance, of course, from those who held tightly to the old ways. But they were fewer now, because the world had seen something more powerful than weapons. It had seen love, sacrifice, forgiveness, and when those things stand strong, nothing, not even war, can last forever. 1 year later, on the same balcony, David looked at the stars. "Do you miss the old days?" Alira asked. He smiled. "No, the future looks better." She nodded. "Let's build it together."